Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to now install the EventG, and after installing the EventG, I'm going to install the switch. I'm going to install the PCs, required PCs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my server now. So I will go to the EventG website. So if you go and search on the Google EventG and click on download, and on the download, I will be downloading the community version and click on this EventG OVF Mega Mirror and download that one. So currently I have already downloaded. So you can see that I already got that zip file. So I have already unzipped that one. And after unzipping that one, I got these three files. Now coming back to our topology, now how much do I require for this switch? You do require only 1 GB for this switch. For these both PCs, you do require 2 GB and 2 GB. That should be enough. And altogether it will be 4 GB and 5 GB. So I can allocate 8 GB of RAM to my EventG. So let's go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a right click and open with the other application, and I will select the VMware workstation, click on select. So now that should open into my VMware workstation now. All right, so it's taking time. It's not opening, so I will go back to the home and I will say open a virtual machine and go back to my downloads on this one, and I will click on this one and click on open. So this should be pretty fast. Yep, you see that it's pretty fast. Community edition CE. So it's storing in a location that should be fine with me, and click on import, and now it is importing. So let's just wait until that is been imported. Now until then, what I do require is the switch. So I need to download that switch image. So if I go back to my EventG now, instead of selecting the download this time, I will select the documentation. And after that, I'm going to select how to. And inside that, I do require a switch that is a catalyst switch, Cisco catalyst. So that one would be VIOS from Viral. And the switch will be this one. What I will do, I will copy that one. I think I do have that already in my documents, Eve, and let me have a look if I do have the same file or not. Yeah, I do have already over here. So I've already downloaded, but on the Google, you should be able to get that. So if you just paste it over here and just write down download, and you should get the download file on the first one. So download it from here. So you have to come at the bottom, click on download. And after that, it should take you directly to the file now. So now click on this one and it should download that file. Now coming to the other one, that is our Windows 10 PC. So I do have Windows 10 one, but I do not have the Windows 7. So let's see if I can get the Windows 7 on the internet and download that one. So one will be Windows 7, one will be Windows 10, so that we can check that one in the profiling. Okay, open that one. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Going to the software, Windows 7, if I click on that one. If I'm able to get on the legally from the Windows, that should be very good. Okay, I don't think so. Nope, nope. So from Microsoft, we do not get that one. So on the soft tonic, let me see, click on download. No thanks, I will continue. And for the PC, And nope, not also. I did not get on the software nicked also. Okay. Nope, it's very difficult to get that one, I think. Let me see this one. Yep, I got that one now. It's 3.81 GB, so let it download. So until then, I will go back to my virtual machine and you see that it's been already imported. So I will click on upgrade and click on next, and I make sure that it is updated to the Windows, VMware Workstation 17.x. So that's what I'm running. Click on next. I'm just going to alter this one, click on next and finish. And done. So now let's edit that one. So basically you see that I don't need to edit anything, but still I need to add an additional hard disk. So I will click on next, next, and here I will include the 500 GB of hard disk. So I do not require 500 GB, but I'm just allocating that one and finish. So I do have only one adapter, so that is connected to bridge. So I will add one more, just a backup, and one more. Now you see that both of them are, I will go to the bridged ones. So all the three of them are in the bridge one that's connected to my physical network. So click on save. So once that has been done, let's go ahead and start our machine now. So this will take a lot of time, I think, to download. So that should be fine, 33 minutes. So it does take at least 2 to 5 minutes to load up completely. Okay, it came up very quickly, so that's good. So by default, the username will be root and the password will be EVE, small letters, all lowercase letter, Eve. It will ask you for the new password, so I will give the same thing, Eve, Eve, EVNG. I don't have any domain, but I do have the domain, that is cisco.com. Click on end. I'm using the DHCP. Yes, DHCP. I don't want to allocate. NTP server will be au.pool.ntp.org. That's the same thing I'm using from the when I install the ICE. This is the same address I have given. So click on OK and click on direct connection, and that should load. So once rebooted, it will allocate an IP address from the DHCP, and we are able to access that one. Now the next thing would be that I need to install this particular device, that is our switch. So what I have to do is that I need to follow this guide. So this will be the one. So for that one, I just need to take an SSH connection. So I will open my terminal. So since I'm using the Linux machine, so it will be easy for me to just type in like this. But if you're using the Windows, then you have to select install the putty and access that via putty. So IP address, I don't know the IP address yet. So let's go ahead and check what is the IP address. That is 192.168.1.15. So what I will do, I will just go ahead and say that 192.168.1.15. It will ask you for are you sure you want to continue? Say yes and enter the password, that is Eve, and you should be able to log in. So now I am inside my EVNG. Now the next thing, one more thing, what you have to do is that I need to transfer this particular file. So if I go back to the Eve and go back to GNS3, so I need to transfer this file into the EVNG virtual machine. So to do that one, you can use the FileZilla client. So download this FileZilla for Windows, but I've already installed for the Linux. So I will just start off with that one. That should be FileZilla. So in the FileZilla, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to enter the IP address 192.168.1.15. Username will be root, password will be Eve, and port number will be 22. Click on enter and it should connect. So update that one, click on OK, since I do have multiple of them. So that's the reason. Now, once you are logged in, on the right hand side, you will see the EVNG. On the left hand side, you will see my physical machine. From here, from my physical machine, I'm going to transfer the files onto the virtual machine. So let's do that one. So double click on this one so that you can go back and select the OPT. And after that, select the unit lab and select add-ons and select KMove. So this is where you should see that folder and the directory is being created. So now let's follow the guide now onto the EVNG. So I will copy that one and I will paste it over here because I do have the exact file. So click on enter. And if I go back to FileZilla and I click on refresh, I should see that particular folder. So open that folder and on the left hand side. We'll go back. Okay, I'm inside the Eve. I will go back in GNS3 and this is the folder. So if you just drag or double click should be fine. So once you drag, the file will be transferred. So after that, after the file has been transferred, I just need to rename that one as a virtua.qcom. So I will copy that name and I'll go back here and I will say that right click on that one, rename and paste it. So once that has been done, I just need to provide this command, otherwise your switch will not work. So copy that one and paste it on the CLI and click on enter. That's done. So we are done with the switch. Now let's look for the Windows 10 machine, how we can install the Windows 10. So if I scroll down, I should see on the Microsoft Windows workstation. And you see that it's supported 7, 8, and 10. So I am installing the 10 for now. So what I will do, I will copy this one and I will paste it here, but I will change that one as a Windows 10 because I'm installing Windows 10. Enter. So once that has been done, so if I double click on that one, I'm back. So refresh that one, I see that Windows 10. So now let's go back to Eve, and on the left hand side, I should see Windows. And here I do have the Windows 10. So I will just grab it over here. So now it's a very long file, so it might take at least 5 to 7 minutes to transfer that file. Now, I will come back to my physical machine, that is my physical laptop. Over here, I will type in 192.168.1.15, and I should be able to access that Eve NG GUI web. So I will say admin and Eve, I should be able to log. Now, on your laptop, you have to make sure that you install this package before you go ahead and do something with the configure installing or doing anything with the EVNG. So before that, what you have to do is that you have to download the Windows client side and this integration pack. So before you try to integrate with the EVNG, make sure that you download and install this integration pack. And after that, whenever you create a new labs over here, you are able to integrate with the EVNG. So I'll create a new lab over here and I will say that this should be Cisco ICE and just click on save. So I'm inside this one. So I will click on right click and node, and now I will say that via iOS, and you see that by default there is a switch for me. So I can make this one as a switch one. So let me see, this is switch one. And I'm using one CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and 8 ports. That should be more than enough because 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's the only one I am using. 4 ports, and that should be done, and click on save. Now, in order to connect to my virtual machine, so what I have done is that if I go back to my EVNG and click on settings. So I have used 3 adapters. All the 3 adapters are connected to the same network, that is my physical network. So basically you can see that all the 3 adapters are connected to the particular switch that is connecting to my physical network. So that doesn't mean that I'm having the physical switch, but virtually the switch are created in the VMware workstations. So now what I can do is that in order to connect to my Cisco ICE and everything, so I can right click and click on network. And I can select the management cloud because all the 3 adapters are selected onto the same one. So I will say that this one will be management and click on OK. And I can select gig 0/0, just making sure that it is gig 0/0 and gig 0/0. Now you see that I'm going to install the mikrotrik router in my ESXi where the Windows machine, Windows Server ICE1 and ICE2s are installed. So I've already shown you how to install that mikrotrik router in the ESXi. So let's go ahead and install that one too. Now to download that file, once again, I will show you how to download that file. So if I go to mikrotrik, software downloads and click on software. So once you click on software, you can, I think you have to click on the downloads. And once you are in the downloads, you should be able to go to cloud hosted routers. And over here, you see that it's a latest version and you can go ahead with the OVA file or the raw disk file. That's the ISO. It's a very small file. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to install that router. So I will create a VM. So I'm selecting the OVA file because I do have that one. Click on next. And I will go to that particular file. Where is that one? Software. Mikrotrik, and this is the, so it's currently running 7.8, but I do have the 7.61, so I will click on that one and I will say that mkr and click on next and select the VM data store. I don't want to turn on the machine right now and click on next and finish. So once that has been imported, I just need to add certain adapters because it has only one adapter right now. So how many adapters I do required will be 1, 2, and 3. So I will go ahead with the 4 adapters for this one. So I will add a 1, 2, 3, and 4. The memory will be 256 and hard disk will be 1 GB of RAM and that should be good. So I do have 1, 2, 3 adapters, 4 that's all good. So once that is been installed, let's go ahead and start that one and click on console, open the new tab. So it's going to boot now. Now, so far we are ready with the switch now, and we are now getting ready with the router. And also we are going to get ready with the Windows 10 machine. So it's still transferring. So if I come back here, so it will take at least 2 to 5 minutes to load that one. All right, so we have seen this one as a login one. So login as admin, no password for first time. And it will ask you do you want to see the software license? No, and it will ask you for the new password. That should be mois123 hash and mois123 hash. So first I will change the name of that one. That should be identity, or I think that should be system identity set name equal to mkr. After that, once the name has been changed, then I can say that IP address add address equal to 192.168.1 dot. If I go back to my topology, you see that it's 99, but I'm already using 99 for my ESXi, so I will select 898. So I will say that should be 98/24, and the interface will be Ethernet Ether1. And that's it. So once that has been done, let's open a new tab and I will connect to that one. That is 192.168.1.98. And I should see that router login page. I've already saved here, so click on login. So once login, it will come to the summary page. Just click on the web fig, and after that, go to the IP and go to the address. So by default, you see that it's all automatically allocated dynamically. So I will remove that one. So make sure that 98 is the one which I'm using. Now coming to the routing also, you see that dynamically it got the default gateway towards the 192.168.1.1, but still I will remove that dynamically allocated one because I want to provide each and everything as a physical uh, manually configured. So I'll go back to the address. Now the one address has been configured, that is this part. So the next thing is that Ethernet 2, I need to configure as 10.0.0.254. So I will go back to the same thing, click on add a new item, and I will say that 10.0.0.254/24, and this will be Ethernet 2. So I will say that connected to switch and click on apply. Okay. Now I need to add one more, that should be the Ethernet 3 20.0.0.254. So I will click on add new. This will be 20.0.0.254/24, and this one will be Ethernet 3 connected to server 1. So click on apply. Okay. So that's all done now. So I've already assigned to the all the IP addresses has been assigned. Let's go and do the routing now. So the default gateway should be add new /0 192.168.1.1, and routing table should be main. Click on apply and okay. So now everything has been manually configured. That means static route distance is 1, that will be preferred. So to do the testing, so what I can do, I can go to on the left hand side on the tools, and I can go to ping, and I can try to ping .8.8.8 and click on start, and I should see the reply. Now once this has been done, so the other thing is that whenever the internal networks are coming in, they are not able to communicate with the internet because we are not doing any netting. So let's do the netting. So for that one, I go back to the IP. In that IP, I do have an option of firewall. And in that firewall, I do have an option of NAT. So click on add. Source NAT, don't do anything. Just change the action to masquerade and click on apply and click on OK. And that's all. That's all we have to do. Click on log off. Now we have to test whether this one is working or not. To do that one, what I can do is that currently I will go back and I will select one more management cloud, and I will say that this one is going to MKR and save. So gig 0/1 will be going to MKR. All right, so once connected, so let's go back and click on start. So switch should be started. So let me refresh. Yep, switch is started. Click on open and it should give you the console to the switch. So now the switch is starting up, so it might take some time. So let's go back to the setup now. That is, our Windows machine has been transferred. So let's see what we have to do. The next thing is that we have to go to that particular directory. So if I come back here and I can say that CD, and I will copy this one. So I'm in that particular directory, and you can see that particular image is present over there. But I need to create one hard disk in that particular directory. So I will copy this one, but it's saying 30 GB. That shouldn't be, that will not be enough. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change that one to 60 GB and enter. And now if I say ls, I do have two images. One is for this one hard disk, one is for the ISO image. Now again, we have to rename that one. So if you see that we have to rename that one as a cd-rom.iso. So I'll come back here, I will do a refresh, and I'll right click and cd-rom.iso. So once that has been done, let's go back to our EVNG now. Now in the EVNG, I will right click to the node and I will say that Windows. You see that Windows, and you see that Windows 10 is there over here. So I will say this one as a PC. I will give you two CPUs, 4 GB RAM. No, I'm going to allocate two because I do have only 8 GB, so I'm allocating 2 GB of RAM and only one Ethernet now because I need to commit these images. So I'm just installing so that I can reuse this image. So start. So click on this one and you should see this console. So switch is also starting and this one is also starting. That's pretty good. So now this will take a little bit of time with the Windows PC because we have to install, go through the installation process, then we have to commit the image, then we have to do certain things. And after that, we can reuse that image. So currently I'm setting up these things so that we can go ahead and do that one. So we do not require right now the server one, we will install later on. Now let's go to the mikrotrik sorter. We don't require anything else. We just need to verify this one. Once we verify, we do not require anything. So Go back to the switch, go back to this one, still loading up. And if I go back to the eyes and if I see that primary and the secondary node, both of them are check marked, that means both of them are running and they are in synchronized. So in the last video, we saw that one was the exclamatory mark. Now it became green. So my eyes is ready for now. Eyes is ready. Windows Server is ready with Active Directory and the DNS. My router is ready. And I'm now getting ready with the switches and the PC. Let's see, still booting, still booting. See that Windows 10 is taking a lot of time. Right, so let it boot. So once that is been booted, we will go ahead and do the configuration. All right, so my switch is up. So let's go ahead and configure the switch. So if I come back to the topology, these two ports are layer 3 ports. I have to make those as a layer 3 ports. I will go to config T and I will say that host name will be switch 1 and interface gig 0 slash interface range gig 0 slash 021. No switch port and exit. So making those ports as a layer 3 ports. Interface gig 0 slash 0 IP address will be 192.168.1.45 to 55 to 55. 0 and no shit. So it's hanging up. I think I have given a less CPUs for that one. So I'll just do one thing. I will just stop this one. And I will also stop this one. So that's the reason it's not coming up. So I will stop, and close the lab and sign out. Go back to my machine. So on the EVNG, I will just power off first. So I can just change the processor to 8 processors. So edit settings, go to the processor 4 into 2, and that should be good. Now I would do the startup and it should work now. So let it boot now. Right, the switch is off. Let's go and configure interface gig 0/0. IP address will be 192.168.1.45 to 55.55.0 and no shared interface gig 0/1. IP address will be 10.0.0.1 to 55.55.0 and no shared. And if I say that do ping 192.168.1.101, that is ICE1, I should be able to ping and ping 10.0.0.254, I should be able to ping. Now I have to provide the route IP route 0.0.0, 0.0.0.0, 10.0.0.254. And if I say that do ping 8.8.8.8, I should be able to ping. So that means my router is working, so I can go ahead and close this one now. Now all the things have been done in place. The only thing is that I just have to configure the PCs now. So you see that it's taking a lot of time for the PC to come up. So once we configure the PCs, then we are good to go. So language to install, that should be good, but time and currency, that should be Australia. That's where I am in. I will select English and Australia, click on next, install. So I'm just going to the whole setup so that many people doesn't know how to set the labs. So that's the reason I'm just going through these things so that they can practice. Right, so let's click on I don't have the product key. And I will select Windows 10 Pro. and I will accept the license, click on next, and I will select the advanced. And here I will click on load drivers and I will click on browse. And I think that should be under the floppy disk A. Now it should be under floppy disk B, and there should be a storage and select that, expand that one. I think that should be AMD 64. In the storage, 2003 R2, select AMD 64, click on OK, and that should show up over here. So click on next, and that hard disk should be shown in the menu here now. All right, so once it loads the driver of the hard disk, now I am able to see that is 60 GB of hard disk. So I will select that one and I will click on next, and now it should start installing the device. So let's do the same thing for our Windows 7. Let's see until when it comes in. Okay, still it has 5 minutes left, so I will wait until that is being finished. And this is going to install the Windows 10 now. All right, so you can see that it's completing the installation. So it's looking for the installing updates, and it will finish up that one and it will restart the PC. So once the PC has been restarted, then we will commit this image. All right, so once it is been restarted, let's go ahead and set up our Windows 10 now. I will select the keyboard as this one, and I will skip that one. Right, so it's asking for the latest update, so I will just skip for now because we do not require that one. Next, we will set up this one as a personal use. I will select that one, click on next. And I will say select the offline account because I don't want to add the online one. And I will select the limited experience. And I will say that who is going to use this PC as admin. And the password will be cisco 0123. And the password will be 0 cisco 123. And the security question, I can say that that should be. Oh, I don't want that one. So I'll just turn off this one because I do not require anything because we are using this one for the lab. And I will select accept. Now, once the PC is been logged in, we will shut down the machine and we will commit the image. All right, so once the Windows 10 is up and running, so let's go ahead and shut down the machine now. I do not require this one, so I will just unpin from this one, unpin from this one. And I do require one browser, that is Mozilla Firefox. So I will install that one. So I will say that google.com. Because once we committed, because we do not have the internet, so that's why Firefox download. And I will download and install that Firefox and shut down the machine. Because Internet Explorer does not support the ICE portals, so that's the reason I'm installing the Firefox. Click on yes, and it should run that setup. And also I will install the putty. Download putty. That should be 64-bit. And click on save. because one setup is already running. So once this is finished, we can go ahead and install the putty also. All right, so looks like almost is finished. So I will install these things and I will shut down the machine. All right, so everything is been installed. I'm just going ahead and shutting down the Windows now. So once that is being shut down, and after that, I need to commit these changes which I have made. So what I will do is that from my physical laptop, I will take the party session to 192.168.1.15, and I will accept that one, and I will log in as root and Eve. So while transferring the file, I should be on the physical server, but after that, anything I'm connecting, everything I can do it from the different PCs. So I will select this one, cd.0, copy this one, paste it over here. And after that, it is asking for UUID. So I will go back to this lab. And on the left hand side, I should see the lab details. And this is where I will see the ID. Copy that one and slash. And now it is asking me for the ID. So ID is number 2 over here, PC2, number 2. So I will select 2 and enter. So I am in that particular directory now. And after that, I just need to copy this one and paste it over here and enter. So it will take at least 2 to 5 minutes to commit that image. Once that is been committed, you are done with the installation. So after the done with the installation, I will go ahead and do the same, follow the same process for the Windows 7. And after that, we are ready to configure, do our authentication and everything. So we are ready with the labs now. So this was the installation of the devices which we are required to do that one. Hopefully all the things have been installed only except this one. So we will look in the future videos if we require this server or not. If we do require, then we will go ahead and install this one. So I hope this was very informative for you and thank you.